Guys, you know, it's not really about vitamins, it's about love. It really is at the end of the day. We're here to love each other. We're all one, you know, it looks like we're all separate. We're not all separate. We're all connected scientifically, atoms, electromagnetic waves, through the divine force, cells in the body of Christ. We're all connected. It's one big happy family. Sometimes we don't recognize it, sometimes we don't know it, but from a hardcore scientific way all the way up to a spiritual, abstract way, we are one entity. Just like when a bee is left alone and is separated from the hive and dies, when we feel separate, we get sick. And to me, and I'm so glad I can say this here, that's one of the reasons I love coming to Texas. Healing and health and wellness are not physical, first and foremost. All right. They're not physical, first and foremost. I call it SMEP, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, in that order. In all crisis and all disease, and I'm fortunate in a way, I get to see sick people over and over and over and over again. I also get to see them get well many of the times. So I see patterns. So I'm fortunate in a way that you guys aren't when you're dealing with an individual illness. I see patterns because I have a large database. I have a large pool that I can draw from, so I begin to see patterns. That's how you get to see patterns. You know, if you have one, you guys remember Bob Ross, the painter, on TV? How many of you remember Bob Ross? I used to love Bob Ross. Who does not remember Bob Ross? I'll tell you who he was. All right, Bob Ross was a painter guy on TV, and when I was a kid, I used to watch him, and he was the most amazing painter because he would just draw a little line, and somehow that would be a river, right? And then he'd draw a couple of other lines, and it would be a tree, and just 3 or 4 lines, he'd have an entire landscape. It was like magic how he did it. And how did he do it? Well, I is trained to fill in the blanks. So if we get more data points, we can start to see pictures emerge. And what great painters understand is by putting strategic data points in different places, we'll see images come out of the picture. Well, I can see that. I get to see that with people and with health and with disease. And so I have been able to draw conclusions about the disease process that are unique. And that's why many of you can recognize this who've heard me speak or who I've gotten to interact with. You know that you're hearing things that you never heard before. You're hearing things, you're hearing ideas that you can't believe you never heard before because they make so much darn sense. You know what I'm saying? How is it that I can do that? I'm not that smart, first of all. I appreciate you thinking that. You know, the guy who fixes my car is smart. He opens up the hood, he looks inside, and he knows, you know, what the heck is going on. I don't know. I can't make heads or tails out of that thing. The guy fixes my computer, he's smart. You know, if my computer's messed up, I don't know what to do. I'm not that smart. I do stupid things all the time. But what I have been blessed to have is an opportunity to see the body in action in all kinds of different ways and all kinds of different forms of breakdown. And what I've realized is that there are certain consistencies to the disease process. And these consistencies are rooted in our behaviors and our activities, which means we can change it. How many people have talked to me in the past year or so where I've talked to you? Have I said anything to you that's weird medicine or science or chemistry or hard to understand or you need 8 years of college and you need to be doing all kinds of research? It's common sense. It's just common sense. And so you wonder why you haven't heard it before. It's because you don't have the opportunity, you haven't had the opportunity to see it appear over and over and over and over and over again, as I have. And so what you're going to hear today is going to be, number one, super simple. As when they asked me what I wanted to talk about, or what I wanted the title to be, this is what I want the title to be. The simplicity of health. It's not complicated, guys. It's so darn easy. But we have to begin to challenge our old ways of thinking, our easy ways of thinking. We have to expand our belief horizons. Does that make sense when I say belief horizons? Our frontiers of belief. We are circumscribed in a circle of belief from the day we're born. You guys follow that? Does that make sense? We are driven with ideas that are parasitic. They suck, they take energy from us, and they do not return anything back. They're viruses. We're infected with mind viruses, with thought viruses that shrink us, that contract us, that make us think we're alone, that make us think we're scared, that make us think we have no power, that make us think we're ignorant, that make us think we have to go somewhere outside our bodies to take care of ourselves. Are you with me here?
Yeah.
And this is the idea that I want to destroy. I'm an iconoclast. You guys ever hear that word iconoclast? I love that word. There's actually a book called The Iconoclast. It's all about being an iconoclast. Iconoclast means you class icons. An icon is a belief, a symbol, a sacred cow. Class is the biologic term for destroy, for break it down. Your osteoclasts are cells that destroy your bone. Class is Latin for to destroy. Icon is Latin for ideas and sacred cows. And I am here to be an iconoclast, to break our ideas, our memes, our infectious virus, thought viruses that have shrunken us and taken our power away. Because you see, guys, every time you cut yourself, a little miracle happens that is symbolic and representative of what can happen everywhere in the body. You follow here? You heal a cut, that's your testimony, just like the rainbow is the testimony of God's love and grace, right? This is your testimony of healing. This is your testimony of reversing your diabetes and your osteoporosis and your mental health issues and your autoimmune diseases. Every time you think that you're condemned to prednisone and the doctor with your autoimmune disease, think about the last time you cut your finger. And that same healing process that heals the cut can reverse your autoimmune disease. And I'm telling you, I've seen it over and over and over and over and over again. And Jan said I was tireless. I'm not tireless. I couldn't live with myself if I didn't tell you guys this. I could not look at myself in the mirror if I held this information to myself. It wouldn't be right. I couldn't sleep at night. I want to stand on the roof and scream it. It doesn't take any energy, by the way. It doesn't take any energy to do this because I'm not doing it. It's just me telling you some ideas that make perfect sense and you incorporate it in your life and you change. I don't have anything to do with it. I didn't make the body. I just have been gifted with the grace of getting to see it in action over and over and over again, and tragically, in inaction, because really, my people perish for lack of knowledge, like Hosea said. Really, we're so sick as a culture, it breaks my heart to see how sick we are, how unnecessarily sick we are. But it begins with changing our ideas. And that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to talk about ideas, concepts. It's not even really about nutrition per se, although obviously that's involved. It's about ideas. And the fundamental ideas are, number one, health is simple. And number two, there are things we can do. There's a way out of it. There are things we can do to change our behaviors, to change our activities, to change how we live our lives, that can create the most incredible, dramatic changes. Nancy Drew, am I kidding? Whoever Nancy Drew is. Am I kidding? Right? Right? Just one person who's heard these ideas and you know, like Jan was saying, and you know, you go all over. By the way, how many of you guys are doing longevity? Okay, so most, you know, a lot of you guys. If you're not doing longevity, this is what we do. This is what we do. If you're not doing longevity, and this looks even remotely interesting, this is what we do, you guys. Give yourself credit. It's not just me. We're all doing this. Aren't you talking about nutrition? Like, you realize how much you're talking about nutrition? Man, you know, do you realize how much you talk about nutrition? Do you realize how much you talk about helping people get better and
Ask
get well?
him.
You guys, you can make money and do this. You know, you can have a business and do this. You can have a business and make a difference in the world. You can have a business and literally, not metaphorically, rhetorically, hyperbolically, literally change lives. You know, people say that all the time, change lives. No, I'm kidding here. This is really, truly changing lives from the physical structure of your body upwards. You don't get any more real than that. So if you're not doing longevity, I've been doing it 17 years.